What is going on here? Sorry, last minute things going broken here. So, switching mouses, switching mice, switching keyboards. Well, I did switch keyboards for a reason, but yeah, I see there's Robert joining me today. Today's gonna be a little bit different. I am going to be doing something different in the sense of this is kind of going to be a working meeting. What do I mean by that is my content is mainly, how do I say it? Video content, recorded content in general, right? And so what I wanted to do this time was to create I wanted to just go through, I wanted to work on my recorded content, but do it live here. So I am recording everything here on Ecamm right now. So I'm broadcasting to Ecamm, and then I am also, how do I say it? Broadcasting to Ecamm, and also I am also recording on my computer here. So I think I'm recording. Yeah, I see my hard drive going there. And so I will be recording, doing some recordings on mainly doing some of the hands-on stuff, and then I can do the intro and all the other stuff later on for continuity's sake. Maybe I'm gonna make sure I wear this t-shirt. Let me show you off my t-shirt here. Let's see. Anyway, one of my favorite t-shirts here, but I am going to be doing that right now. So here's the plan tonight. So I'm going to be recording my videos of how I usually do it, and then I'm going to put it all together later on into a more formal video. So I may or may not keep this live broadcast on as far as in my playlist. We'll see. So this is kind of someone like my favorite YouTuber, one of my favorite tech YouTubers, Lon Sideman, Lon.tv, and he does a lot of live videos, but he does a lot of these kind of in person, like on working kind of sessions live, so you can kind of see how the sausage is being made basically. So yeah, but today I'm going to do one on Notion, and then actually I just got something in the mail. So I have kind of an overhead rig type of setup here that I'll turn on later. It's kind of a last minute thing. I didn't know it was going to come in today, but I am going to do an unboxing of something that came in today, and you'll get that. So what's going up, John? John, I just want to say I love the live stream we did last week, and just coming in, it felt like we could really do a benefit one day, like a live stream benefit, it seems like. So yeah, but so that's what's going on today. I'm going to just go into getting into Notion, and then you might hear me go like 3, 2, 1 and do some intros. It may seem a little bit disjointed in some sense, but eventually I'm using all I'm doing here into eventually finished video. I'll add some B-roll if I need to, add in some later clips if I need to, if I miss anything, if I feel like I miss anything. So yeah, it did go well, and it's awesome. I'm gonna move this down here a little bit. It's one of those things where I feel like once we all keep on growing, we'll still have this community, and we can do eventually benefits, raise some money, raise some awareness for some cause. And it's not that we're trying to do that right now, but like it's it's potential there, right? Like we have a community. It's not about, oh, I'm so influential. I don't think I'm ever will be an so-called influencer, but it's a matter of building a community. And once you build a community, then you have more power in numbers and to build awareness on certain things. So anyway, that's where I'm going. Well, today I am going to talk about Notion. And yeah, so this is going to be, if you're joining me late, this is going to be a working session. So I'm really recording my recorded videos. And yep, we just keep moving forward. We just keep growing. One subscriber at a time, but even more. So one viewer at a time, and then just have members joining us. One person at a time, and just grow this small community that we've been growing. And much kudos to you and Jeff for really just kind of keeping these, starting these streaming buddies, right? So anyway, if no one else joins it tonight, if you don't stick around, that's fine. I am going to be using all this content for a video later this week. And actually, again, I'm going to have two videos actually. So I'm going to be doing an unboxing at the end of this video. And let me just tell you what it is, actually. It's a new keyboard. So it's this keyboard right here. This just came in the mail today. This was from this is the Keychron K7. And this is from a Kickstarter, actually. So this is one of the few companies that does Kickstarter very well. They really use it as a pre-sales tactics. But this is a mechanical keyboard, and this is a low-profile mechanical keyboard today. But since I'm going over Notion today, I am using my trusty old Mac wireless keyboard. This is the first generation one, and yep, I got that one. I don't know if you were in that Kickstarter campaign or not. So, and then right before, okay, so I'm using this right now because I'm going to be doing some typing. And so if I use my Keychron, I have a K2 here actually. Let me make sure this is, yeah. I have this thing as my main keyboard. I customized these keys right here. It's normally all gray, but anyway, this is one of my favorite keyboards here, and this really does, it's pretty loud though. So, but this is the K2 that I have here, and I will be unboxing the K7 right after I do some of this Notion video. But I have a feeling that this Notion video will take a little time in that sense. Because I'm going to go through a demo of how I use it, and I'll probably just give a little bit of an intro, and then go right into demoing how I get started. I will be taking comments, and the comments may or may not make it into the final video, but it will give me ideas of what to add in later, or just kind of if you feel like, okay, I'm answering your question without acknowledging you, well, I'm really trying to just make a very cohesive video after this live stream. So yeah, so that's what's going on right now. So okay, so let's get into Notion, and let's get into this demo here. So let me open up my notes here first that I had for Notion, and then we'll get into Notion itself. But yeah, I had a little script going on before, but anyway, it's just kind of always a working script. So yeah, but actually, if you're here for the first time, I didn't even do introductions here. My name is Patrick. This is Everyday Tech for everyday people. And I usually go live on Sunday nights, but it's been crazy. Happy Labor Day for those in the US, and had the day off. The kids had the day off, so it's been a little bit hectic in the last few weeks. So this is kind of the reason why I haven't made a video in 2 weeks. And one of my friends called me out. He's like, we need more videos. I go, yeah, I need to make more videos. So hopefully this week I can make it up with 2 more videos this week. So yeah. So again, I have my Notion video, and also I'll give you an update of what I've been doing with my. I made a plugin for WordPress with Notion, and there are some people have been asking me to give an update on it. So yeah, I will give an update on that tonight, and then hopefully I can release some code this week for everyone to play around with, as far as WordPress is concerned, or that plugin is concerned. So yeah, I've been trying to try to get back on the schedule of 1 video a week, and I haven't been able to do that. And ever since I got back from California, actually, it's been hard to get back into it. But the last 2 weeks have been insane personally. And even with my professional job, I'm a programmer by trade. So it's been crazy there. It's continuing to be crazy, but at least the kids are back in school. We have other people that we're taking care of. School starting for the college students around in this area. So things are a little bit hectic, but yeah. Okay, so let's get started as far as Notion is concerned. So, yeah, so this may be a little bit disjointed, but I'm going to use some of these clips in the final. So, yeah. So here we go. So today we're talking about Notion. Now, Notion is an all-in-one application to get you organized in every part of your life, whether it be your personal life or your professional life. So now, how can Notion? Sorry, I'm just trying to get an intro going here. So, okay. So today we're talking about Notion. Notion is an all-in-one application to help organize your life. Whether it be in your professional life or your personal life, Notion is the right product for you. Now, if this is the first time you're getting into Notion, you may be wondering, why do I need to get into another application? Or if you've been thinking about getting into Notion, you may be wondering, well, how can I get into Notion? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can really get started with Notion. Then usually I say, let's get into it. So I'm going to try that one more time, and then we're gonna just go right into the demo. So yeah, so here we go. Take 3, and then today we're going to talk about Notion. Notion is an all-in-one application to help you organize your life. Whether it's in your personal life or professional life, Notion is the right product for you. Now, if this is the first time you're hearing about Notion, or you're thinking about getting into Notion, in this video, we're going to talk about how you can get started into Notion. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. That's right. Okay, so I got through that intro. Now, what I'm going to do is really, I know like John has been thinking about getting into Notion. Jeff is really big on Notion. So one of the things that I kept on hearing was like, oh, this new thing called Notion, and really I really wanted someone to show me like the intro of how to get into it, but but no, there wasn't never any real video to get into it. So here is Notion. Okay, so when you start up Notion, okay, let me start that over. So when you start up Notion, this is what your blah, blah, blah. Okay. So when you start up, Notion, this is what you're presented. You're presented with this get started page, and you're given a lot of these basic instructions. And so I would really actually read through these instructions and some basic usages of it. But really, you can consider this kind of layout as kind of like similar to notes on a Mac, or kind of some simple notes app that you can think of. So you may be wondering, so why do I need another notes app? Well, it's really much more than a notes app, and you can do a lot more powerful things with it. But let me start by getting into the simple interface here. And let's start by saying this is first page here. One of the things that Notion has, if you're wondering how to get it started, is there's a lot of templates that you can get into with Notion. And there's a lot of different categories that you can get into Notion. And one thing I want to use that I like is this habit tracker. So I can start saying, well, if I want to start doing certain things in my daily life, there's a check off here, right? I can start checking how my progress on certain things. So running, maybe exercising is a better word for me. Reading my Bible, reading different things, making sure I read to my kids. So there's a lot of different things, a lot of templates that you can do here, from journaling all the way to a job application. So if you're looking for a job, here is a place where you can keep track of all these. And you can see these are in tables, and this is what Notion calls databases, and I'll get into that very soon. And there's just a lot of different things in here. I think there was like a personal finance one that I could think of. That would be very useful to me as far as that's concerned. But let me get back to not using a template and just doing an empty page here. So let's just do an empty page here. And one of the things is you could just start typing, right? Start typing stuff, right? But one of the other things is you see here, it says type a command, type / for commands. It's a shortcut into all the different page formatting things you can do. So we can start choosing heading 1, heading 2, and I could choose heading 2, right? So on and so forth. And there's shortcuts that you can do. Heading 3. Let's spell it correctly. So you can see this as being kind of a good place to take notes, outline things, organize your life. Now, one thing I would say is Notion is not intended really for a presentation as far as that's concerned, meaning you might want to bring a final product into Word, or bring it into a typesetter for final output. But this is really a way to organize your life, really do things in a kind of outline way. And other things that you can do is, you can do images, you can do links. There are bullet lists here. And once you start getting used to this interface, you'll notice that there are a lot of different shortcuts as well. So as I said, there's heading 1, so you could just do H1 and start another heading here, right? With these bullet items, I can just do dash, and that'll start an item, another item list. You can do the same with bullet numbers, just 1 dot. So there's a lot of different things, a lot of different shortcuts you can do. One of the interfaces that some people don't know about is if you do 3 minuses, it'll do a separating line. So there's a lot of different things you can do with Notion as far as an interface is concerned. One of the things that I'm going to do a demo of today is how do we do this for video creation or even live stream, basically for YouTube, and how we plan it for YouTube. And one real good option out there, or one real good resource out there, is Kat Mulvihill. And so she does a lot of different Notion videos, and I'm going to actually use a lot of her ideas. I was going to say steal, but really just kind of learn and mimic and replicate what she's doing. But I'm going to link her stuff in the description below. So let me just go ahead and say hi to who's here first of all before I get back into Notion. And what's going on, Sammy? Thanks for joining my live here. Going over Notion, and then I'm going to do an unboxing of a keyboard later on in the show. But so if you can't stay, just watch the replay as well. But we'll see how much I keep this video up. Again, this is going to be a working session too. So, but let me get back into Notion, and let's say this is a video that we're creating. So what I'm going to do is put some lorem ipsum text here, and I have a keyboard, or how do I say it? I have a clipboard manager that I'm using to put all this stuff. Okay, so let's say we're planning a video. This could be my script. You could do different things, like I want to do a checklist, pre-show checklist. And so some of the things I want to do is, I'm going to do a to-do list. And so let's say camera settings. I want to make sure I check the aperture, make sure I check the white balance, shutter speed, etc. And so this is one thing you can do for every show. You just start creating this pre-show checklist, and eventually what we can do is make this into a template. So every time I create a new page, I'll have this pre-show checklist. Then maybe I'll have certain things that I want to do. So like make sure I have an intro here. So let's call this like make sure I have an intro and then an outro. And so I'll start creating a template for your pages. And then what you can do is have this as a template, and every time you create a new page, you have your intro, outro. Basically, you'll have your show structure there. You have your pre-show checklist, and that's everything that you'll need, right? But now let's get into databases. Now, when you hear the word database, it can be a little bit scary, right? Or you think of programmers, you think of something that's like, okay, this is too much for me. I'm not a programmer, or never got into, databases itself. But in Notion, databases are really different. But first, let me create a new page here. And what is a database, right? Well, I have something here. A database is usually a collection of data organized especially for rapid search or retrieval as by a computer. And I got this from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. But the thing about databases in Notion is Notion calls them tables. There's different views. There's a grid view. There's a calendar view. It's really a collection of data, right? You could think of tables as a collection of data, but they're organized in very specific ways. So let's get into creating a database for ourselves, and let's use it in the context of YouTube creation. So remember, Notion is as complicated as you want it to be. Now I've heard this a lot, where I'm afraid of getting into Notion because it's too complicated, or I'm afraid I'm going to get too much in a rabbit hole and I'm going to get too into it and not be too productive. I'm going to be too much into setting it up. Well, my advice to you is get started as simple as you can make it, and just expand when you need it. So you say, I'm going to need this field. Add it when you need it, right? So that's my advice to you, right? So let's get into a database here, and I'm going to create a new page here, and we're going to create a table here. And what we're going to call this is YouTube. And the reason why is doing it in general is because this is going to be our YouTube database for both live shows and recorded content. And so we'll get into that right now. So when you're creating a table, and I'm going to make this full widescreen here. Actually, I think I can make this. Nope, we're good. Okay, so with YouTube, okay, let me start that over. Okay, so with a table or a database in Notion, you're always presented with a name here and then tags. Now you can actually take out the tags column. I'm going to actually leave them in, but the named is required, and you can't change that or hide that. So let's start putting in some YouTube videos here. So getting started with Notion. I'm going to do one on, my Keychron K7. If you're joining me late, this is what I'm going to do an unboxing later on this mechanical keyboard I just got. Well, I just did a video on my Epson ES200, I believe, scanner. And then I did one on something called Tell Me a Joke. I did a live stream last week on new gear and 400 plus subs. So you can imagine that this is where I'm going to put all my upcoming videos, and this is where I organize my past videos as well. Let's say I've been just doing this. I'm not just going to erase this once I finish it. I'm going to keep it as a record of what I've done, right? And then tags are a good way to search later on. So tags would be, for this one to be like software. This, this one would be gear. And the nice thing about Notion is, didn't put it in. The nice thing about Notion is you don't have to worry about what are all the options here. A lot of times when you're programming things, interfaces, you have to worry about, okay, what are all my choices here? I have to think of them right now. And then later on you have to add them, but it takes a little while to add them. Here you can expand as you need them. Of course, tags are different, but later on we're going to get into something else like categories or status. And so that's what I'm going to do now, actually add more fields. So we're going to add, let's say, a date field, release date. Actually, let's call it a release date. And we're going to make that a date field. And we can go ahead and order these fields the way we want them. One more is a status field. I'm going to make that a select field. And a select is kind of a multiple choice, kind of like a drop down, but you can only select one field at a time. Tags here are kind of like a multi-select box as well. So I can actually do this multi-select here, right? And then we're going to do one more called type. I'm going to make that a select box. And what do I mean by type? Getting started with Notion. Well, I'm doing that as a live. So this one will be a video. And actually getting started with Notion will be a live and a video. So I may want to do that later. But here I can choose which one. This was a video. This was a live. Okay. Exciting? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, this is kind of a collection of database items, right? Now, remember we had that kind of simple template before. Well, we can bring that template into here. So this is really a list of things, but actually when you hit open, you're going within a page, right? So now I can start putting in my script here, and let's put lorem ipsum text here. But if I come out of it, now it shows that there's content here, right? So you can see that everything that I put in that Notion page right here is kind of listed in this table. So now this table here is a database of pages, really. So I open this, I open up a page. This is like one entry into my database. This is my getting started with Notion. And then if I go into Keychron, this will be my unboxing of the Keychron K7. And so on and so forth. I'm starting to fill out all these different little pages here, right? So we're going one by one. So what I have here is a database here. Within the database, I have these different entries. These different entries are pages, really. Just as like we created like this first page is really an entry into here, right? I hope that makes sense. And as far as entries are concerned, this is like in my individual shows or ideas. So I have my list of, I think I've shown it before. Let me go to there. My YouTube ideas. And this is kind of my YouTube ideas database here. And I have a long one. And these ones I say done are the ones I've completed. I have different statuses of brainstorming. Let's see. writing. This is the one I'm doing now, actually. I haven't changed the status. And then there's some of them that are not filled in. So I do have a long stream of things I want to do here. So yeah, that's one way of using Notion is now I can expand the columns that I need. Then I can also expand the individual fields within those columns as well. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through everything here, but now I can start doing release dates here. Getting started with Notion is tonight, right? Let's see. I'll release the K-Crown K7 maybe this week on a Thursday. I believe I did this last week. I probably did this the week before that. Anyway, these are pretty accurate in that sense, but I did a live stream last week. So that's one way to use Notion. Just getting started with a simple database, right? Simple task here. Now I'm going to start getting into more advanced things. But the reason why I'm going to show you some of these advanced things is to really show you where you can go with this, right? And whether you know how to do this right now or not, it's going to be up to you. But so let me show you two things about Notion. With the database, this is just a collection of data, right? But in Notion, there are two other things, or at least there's one other main thing you can do with a database is create a dashboard. A dashboard is really a view, a glance of another way to organize your data. So this can be really messy, right? If you saw on my personal YouTube idea list, this can get really crazy. Of course, I can sort it by release date or last updated date right here. I like doing the last updated date, but it can get a little bit messy, right? But what if I want to have a different view of the database here, right? And I don't know why it keeps on going to there, but yeah. What if I want a different view of here? So let's start creating a dashboard here. So what I'm going to do here is, let's pin that now. Let's create a new page. I'm going to call this my YouTube dashboard. Now we're not going to create a new database because we already have a database of data here. And I'm going to make this full width here. I already have a YouTube database. This is where my data is concerned. This page is really my dashboard that I'm going to interact with. So really, after I create this database here, I'm really rarely going to interact with this database, with this actual database here. Let me start that over here. So before I go soon, have to go, guys. Thanks, John, for joining me here. This is just really a working session that I'm doing, and yeah, I'll have a more condensed video by the end of the week here, or the middle of the week, hopefully. So yeah, but thanks for joining me here. So let me get into this page here. So this page we're creating is really a dashboard, a view of what we're creating here, right? Really, this is where the data sits. This is where we're going to view the data. So let's say I want to create a database or a view of this database, a calendar view. I just want us to know where everything is. So instead of a database here or a table, we're going to create a linked table, a linked database. And we're going to choose the database we have here called YouTube, right? So now this is not that exciting right now, but this is really our YouTube database here. I can just go to it right now. But the nice thing is I can change the view here. So I'm going to choose calendar view. Okay. Let's see. Let's change it. So I'm going to choose calendar view here. And now we have a calendar view. And this kind of gives you a calendar view of all our videos here. all the videos I've done. That's kind of nice. But what if I want a calendar view and a list view at the same time? Well, now at the bottom here, I can create another linked database here. I'm going to choose my YouTube. And now I have a list view. And actually here I can switch between the table view and calendar view. But really, I really want this top part to be the calendar view. So I'm going to erase that table view here. It doesn't erase the database, it just erases the view. But I have my YouTube videos down here. Now, what if I want this side by side? Actually, what if I want to just see the videos that I have not released yet? Meaning I haven't, okay, let me start that over. What if I want to list all the videos that I have upcoming or haven't released yet? I maybe have created them, but I don't have a release date for yet. And so one of the things is, let's say this one is in progress. This is done. Let's say brainstorming. Filming. Now this was done. Actually, this was a live one. So let's say this is done. Filming, done. So these are my different things here, right? So we're getting into this. Now, what if I just want to see everything that's done, everything that's not done or doesn't have a release date, right? I hope that makes sense. Let me delete this. So one of the nice things about a view is I don't have, there's everything here, but I don't need to see everything, right? So if we go into properties, I don't need to know the release date necessarily. Let's say I don't need to know the tags. And let's say, okay, let's hide the type actually. I just really want to know the name of the video and the status of it. And I don't need to know necessarily the release date yet. The release date is after shows me here, right? So I know that Keychron K7 will be this week. It's on the 9th here. But one way you can do it is you can make this side to side, right? So one of the things about Notion is, let's say I have content here. Let's say I have content 1, content 2. And one of the nice things about Notion is once you create a section, you can drag it to any way you want, any order you want. I can drag this whole database to be in between there. Another thing you can do is you can drag this to the side here, interface, and now you have 2 columns, right? Or you can drag it into its own column. Now, one thing I can do with this view is I can drag it up all the way up to here. Now, there's one little bug or one feature that they need to do in Notion is the ability to go, I can't make columns here, right, with these databases. But there is a way or a little bit of a hack to do it. So you know how I have these 2 little contents here? I can go here to the side. And now I have these 2 columns, right? So now I can drag this thing to be under this column 1, actually. See how that's done? I couldn't do that alone, but I needed to create the columns first and then drag the list that I needed to in there. So I'm going to drag this under column 2. Then after we do that, I should be able to just delete that column, and now I have my side-by-side view of my YouTube videos. And I can, let's say I want a bigger view of this. I'm going to make sure that's full width. Yes. Okay. Okay. That's one thing to do, but this is not as useful to me anymore. Still, I want to know the videos that I haven't put a video completed on. So now we can create a filter on this. So let's create a filter here. I want to know a release date that is not empty, or that is empty, or has a status that is not done. See how that these are the fields that I put in already. And so now with this filter, this shows me everything that is over here. It shows everything that has a release date, but this here shows me everything that has not yet been completed, right? So once I start completing this, let's say I film this and it's gone. Because why? Because it has a release date and I've already completed it. So this is really my to-do list or upcoming videos list. But if this was not done, and I can change the status to in progress, or let's say brainstorming, it'll come out of here, right? Now the other nice thing is I can interact with this database here, and I can change it, and I can just move it. So that's the nice thing about having a big database or a calendar view of the database. You can easily move around dates as well. So I hope that makes sense. I know this has been a kind of a long-winded kind of video, but this is one of the ways you can really use a database. Now there is another way you can use the database as far as live streams are concerned. And let's say you have sponsors, or let's say you have guests, and there's a certain thing you can do with that, right? So one of the things that you can do is something called linked databases, and you can link two databases together. And this is what I'll go over in another video. Maybe I'll do it next week, another live working session as far as this is concerned, but I'm not going to cover it this week. So I've already kind of gone over a lot, and this will be an interesting video. I have a feeling I'm going to film this over again, actually, in a more formal video. But this has been a good practice for me, actually, to kind of do this kind of working session with you. I'm going to make it more condensed and more, more succinct. So I don't know if anyone's still joining me, but the other thing I'm going to do is do an unboxing. And so I wanted to do the unboxing portion of the video right now. I'll do the intro for sure later on, and I'll do a full review on this keyboard. But I'm going to go ahead and try to set up my overhead rig that I kind of really kind of rigged like it's okay. So you can see actually the wires coming in. I don't have the best setup here. Alrighty, let me get in here. I'm going to quit Notion here, and we are going to get into this keyboard here. So here's my overhead rig. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. It's my multi-view monitor. That'll be a little distracting, so I'm going to get that out of the way. Okay. This is my Keychron K2, and this is the new Keychron K7 here. And this was a Kickstarter project. So this portion of the video is I'm going to do an unboxing on the Keychron K7. This is a mechanical low profile keyboard that I'm really excited to start using. And I'll get into the different different switches that I got. And I'm going to do one more thing. Turn off this light above, so there's not too much glare here. Did I get rid of the glare? Yeah, there's my video light over there. So let's get into this. So this is the unboxing of the Keychron K7. This just came in the mail today. Underneath this is the Keychron K2, and I'll be comparing the two videos, but these are very different type of keyboards. And actually I'll be comparing it with my Apple keyboard here as well. So let's get into unboxing it. And this, it's so new that I haven't even taken out of the plastic box yet. So let me try to graciously unbox this and we'll get through this. So yeah. It's always fun to get new gear. So we are unboxing. Yeah. Remember, this is the K7. I'm going to move my, yeah. This is the Keychron K7 low profile keyboard. Mechanical keyboard. And remember, if you have a mechanical keyboard, it's better not to be in the same room as someone else, or have someone else in your office. So, because they can be loud. This comes in a nice box here, very shiny box here. Now I got the brown switches. Now the brown switches are, how do I say, slightly tactile, a little bit clickety, right? These ones are the red linear switches. They're not as clickety, but they do have a very nice, nice feel to them. Red switches or linear switches are really for gamers. A lot of gamers who want that tactile, that very responsive feel. Tactile keyboards like the brown ones. Now brown ones are just slightly ones. I believe the blue ones have a really tactile feel. Those are really for typists. I'm trying to be somewhere in between. Definitely not a gamer, but you know, getting into it. But these are the brown switches. So opening this up, this has some instructions here. I'll have to get into the different fields. This is the optical LED version, not the RGB version. And yeah, people have always complained about how loud keyboards. So yeah, it is very loud, and yeah, it can be very loud. But good thing I'm in my own, office space here most of the day. Hey Ash, you missed a very boring session of Notion that I just did, but anyway, it's good practice for me right now. I know I'm always hard on myself, but thanks for joining me. But I'm doing an unboxing of my Keychron K7 mechanical keyboard. So let me, and eventually all this content that I'm saying today will be in a video, formal video. So I'm using a lot of this recording for my final video as well. So after we open this, after we go through the instructions, let's go through some of the things like what they give you in the box. I have my low profile keys here, and you can see how low profile these keys, how thin these keys are compared to something like this. So we'll do a side-by-side comparison with my other keyboard here, but they do give you some other colored keys, and this is exactly what they did with the K7. So I think it's the exact same layout. Before I get into the keyboard, here is a nice tool for you to pull out the keys. A nice long braided USB-C cable. I will be doing a video on USB-C in the future, but USB-C, everything should be USB-C, including future iPhones. Come on, Apple. There's rumors that they'll do a portless one before they do USB-C. Anyway, let me take this out of the box. Before we get into that, there is documentation here. This is the Keychron K7. And now let's open up this thing here. Very nice packaging. There is a plastic cover over here. And now we have it open. Yeah. Oh, I already know I'm going to love this. These have a slight, remember, these are brown switches. So brown switches don't quite have the, how do we say it? Very tactile feel. But it has a little bit of slight tactility. Is that the word you say? So anyway, as an ASMR people always want to know how these keyboards sound, and so I'm going to do a little bit of audio test now. I'm going to put this straight up to my mic here, and then we're going to see how this sounds. So you're going to hear me move my mic here for a second here. Hold on. Yeah. That's funny. My keyboard fell off. My mic fell off the table here. This is what happens when you use cheap mic stands. Okay. Now we're back. Sorry for the noise there. Okay. The whole thing fell off my desk. Anyway. Okay. So now we're going to get into the keyboard sound here really quick. So let's see. So I have my mic here. And here we go. Bring my mic back here. So if you're really into keyboards, you'll know the different things of how these things can be modified very differently, right? There's a lot of different things you can do to modify keyboards, and even to maintain them. A lot of people lube them up, make them more, make them exactly the way they need it, especially for gaming, right? Okay, so let's compare this with my Keychron K7 or K2. Now, the thing about this keyboard here is I replaced these keyboard keys right here. And that's one of the nice things about having a keyboard, a mechanical keyboard, is how you can customize it. Now, the keys that extra keys that it came with, I will probably do the same I did here, is replace that, that button here. This is a Mac first keyboard, which I do like because I am a Mac person. But they do have Windows keys here, which I probably won't use, And eventually, if I can find more, more tactile, low profile white keys, maybe I might just do the same there to kind of really customize it the way I want. So let's go through, first let me go through the rest. So first let me go through the rest of this keyboard here. And to the back, you have the cable, button off, Bluetooth mode. So this is both a wired and a Bluetooth keyboard. Same exact thing as this. You can switch it from different modes, from Mac iOS or Windows Android modes. Same exact thing here. And a USB-C port here. This USB-C port here is on the side here. This one is everything. All the switches are on the side here. All the switches are on the back and the cable. It does have a nice kickstand here, which I may or may not use. I might actually use it to raise it up a little bit. It gives it a little bit. I can't feel that much difference there. Anyway, this does feel very nice. We are comparing two different really keyboards here though. This is the K2 and this is the K7, and you can see how different they are as far as thickness is concerned. This is a low profile keyboard. This is a regular keyboard. I believe they're 65% keyboards. It does have the delete, page home up, page up and down. So this does have one less row here as far as let's see, what am I trying to say here? Okay. The other difference is this keyboard has an extra row up here, where this has the function keys and the number of keys all put together. So I do like having the extra function and media keys here, but this does have a regular key. So anyway, let's see if this has any battery out of the box. I'm not going to pair it necessarily. And there we go. And I believe there are different ways to increase the keyboard brightness. Right now it's on some kind of glow here. Let's see if I can do that. yeah, might have to look at the instructions here a little bit later, but yeah. There are different things we can definitely do here. So turn off backlit, F1, okay. Now my previous keyboard only had one function key. This has definitely more. 2 function keys. This is to bring it to different effects. And I'm trying to see how we can get the brightness up here. But yeah, that's one of the things is we can pair it with 3 different devices here. And I'm not going to get too much into this. I'm not going to do the pairing right now in this video. This is just an unboxing video. But overall, as I get into this, let's get into the body feel here. This definitely has a very solid aluminum feel here. This one was very much all plastic, but this has a very good feel. Now, one of the things that you can do is, of course, take out the keycaps here. But this actually has 2 different things, and let me see here. Let me turn this off for now. One of the things you can do is take out the keycaps, so we can pull that out. And this does have the brown switches, as I said, has a little tactile feel, but I believe the other thing is these are hot swappable, meaning if I don't like that kind of tactile feel, I can buy different switches here with different tactility or linear switches like this one is and switch it out. And so I believe this is the tool to take out the switches, and I'm not going to do that right now. Well, let's just do it right now on camera here. I believe I could just pop this out. Well, I'm not seeing how to do it right now, so I don't want to break it on camera right now, but I am used to taking these keycaps off, but I'm not used to taking the switches off yet. So, and I don't think I will. I think I'm really liking the feel of this keyboard here. So anyway, this is something that is definitely going to have a review coming in the very near future. It's one of those things that I need to make a video on this while it's hot while it's, you know, hot off the press. So we'll see. I'm not that too concerned of being first to release, but I will try to get something out. Maybe I'll put it together sometime this week and release this unboxing video with it too. So yeah, so this has been an unboxing of the Keychron K7 mechanical low profile keyboard. These are the brown optical switches that I have here, and yeah, so far I'm really liking this. Yep. So yeah, that's my unboxing. Let's see, everything is a mess here, but let me switch back to here. Let me see if anyone else is still watching there. Yeah, this is kind of a little bit of a different video for me to do today. As I was saying in the beginning, what I really wanted to do is a working video. I've been having trouble just kind of releasing videos lately, just trying to, because it's just the busyness of life in general. But today, thank you for still sticking around. So I wanted to do like a working video here, and we'll see how much of that, the Notion stuff I'll keep in. I may do that whole video over, but I am, how do I say it? It was a good practice, actually. It was a good run through. So if I don't keep it, it wasn't to waste either. I wanted to do something where I can just practice doing my videos and just do it. I just said, well, let me just do it live in a live stream, and then because I'm recording this whole thing right now. So yeah. Other than that, uh, let's see. Let me see what other videos. This was practice. I would say every video is practice, Sammy. Um, I don't know. I'm actually open to what things you want to see actually uh, in this upcoming review on a K7, my K7 keyboard, or on Notion. Was what I said pretty good? It's gonna I am using Ecamm tonight, and I am gonna do another video on doing streaming all on how do I say it? All on just using my ATEM Mini Pro, actually, without any software, just everything, even lower thirds. So, but is there anything else you want to see on Notion? Was it too? Do you think it's too overwhelming for a beginner? I don't know. I was trying to go through the basics, but even get people beyond the basics and going into the database, because that's where the Notion really shines. So, yeah, I think I'm just practicing this even live streaming right now too. So just having a conversation with it. So I will say, Ash, that it depends. You should really see if you really need it or not too. If you want different camera angles, it's really nice. I think you can get an ATEM, regular ATEM, on used ATEM for pretty cheap now. I got a used. Now I now have two ATEMs now, actually. One's a pro and one's a non-pro. I'm probably gonna sell the non-pro one or donate it to my church for them to use in their production. But yeah, it's one of those things where whether you need it or not is really it's all what you want to do with it. I really wanted to just play around with it and get into broadcasting things or doing events. Even it's really good for live events. The main issue I have is it doesn't do 4K, but I'm not going to stream in 4K, but I do a lot of recording, and I want to do more recording in 4K, but that means I can't use my ATEM because it only does everything in 1080p. But it's a really nice thing to have as far as production, like events, and even one of the inputs. Your inputs don't have to be 4 cameras. One of them is my how do I say it? One of them is my Chromecast. So if I switch to my Chromecast here, it's just doing a slideshow. That's my daughter when she was younger, right? But it's just doing a slideshow right now. But I can cast anything to that Chromecast from Chrome browser or from one of my other devices too. So that's one of my inputs. I could have my computer go straight into one of the inputs. So I know you have a little one too. So I have 2 little crazy ones. One started kindergarten, one started 2nd grade. So they'll be going back on Wednesday. Tomorrow is a holiday, a Jewish holiday that the schools observe. So we get the benefit of having a day off there. But yeah. So back to Notion. I'm gonna review of what I did and see if it's good enough to be a video. Cut it up. If not, I'm gonna do it all over again. So, and then the other video I'm gonna cut up for sure is the unboxing, and I'm gonna figure out if I'm gonna do an unboxing or unboxing and review video, which means I have to do more, right? Yeah, one thing I learned is the type of videos, different type of videos, you get a lot more views based on the type. So as I said, anything Apple, you're definitely gonna get more views. Then I learned early on that keyboards get a lot of views as well. My first video I ever did on this channel was on a keyboard, and it was actually another Kickstarter keyboard. I actually sold that one, and then I got it because they mixed up on the order, and then I got another mechanical keyboard which I did another video on. So Yeah. Oh, I realized. Okay. No wonder I was zoomed in because I was zoomed in with the overhead shot. So, yeah. Ash, I didn't say the time one time this time. So, it is 11:04 p.m. though. So, and I'm not going to say the time anymore. So yeah, that's what's coming up. So this is what I'm going to be doing a lot in these live streams. I'm going to be planning out some of the videos that I want to make, upcoming videos, and I'm just going to do them live. And this is the perfect time, perfect excuse, one, for me to go live, and then do the and get a recorded video out. That's one of the things I want to get back into is um, I want to just get it on a regular schedule and just pump out these videos now. So, um, thanks. I really, I just really try to just let it flow today. So, not worry about the time. But that's what's going to happen is a lot of these are going to be working videos, and I'm going to be just recording all these lives, cutting them up, and making them into at least get the B-roll video, B-roll shots out, and then I'll come back in and do the formal intros or different things. And one of the things I wish my setup had is kind of a place to put my prompter, and so that's one of the things I like using a prompter actually, if I can type it all out. So that'll help me in a lot of the different flows. So I may try to figure out a different setup in this room. One thing I forgot to do, and I really did have it set up, is turn on my backlight. Yeah, I really could have had a nicer video on the backlight. So, man, now I really got to do that Notion video over. I didn't have a nice backdrop, so I didn't feel 100% confident on that Notion one. I feel like I could have been more succinct and more to the point. So I will probably do that Notion one, but I will keep the unboxing because I'm not going to rebox and box up again. So I'm coming to the end of my video here, but I wanted to tell you what else is coming up as far as reviews are concerned. So I'm pulling up my notes here. And one of the things that I want to do is get some stuff out that I've been saying that I've been wanting to get out, or kind of teasing. So the Notion video is one of the things I've been teasing. But if you look at, and I'm going to pull up my Notion videos here. If you look at my upcoming Notion videos here, or things that I'm working on, there is a whole list of things here that have been on here since almost the beginning. Cheap projectors. That can be a very quick video. I do have a $60, $70 projector. Is it worth it? Well, you'll have to wait to find out, right? One of the hobbies in COVID is I bought a laser engraver, and so I want to do those. And one of the things I've been using a lot is a grill. This is a pellet grill. So anyway, I'm all over the place here, of course. But one of the things I'm going to get this out of the way. And yeah, so I hope that this will never get to nothing, because that'd be sad. That means I have nothing to talk about. There's always something to talk about. And one of the things I can add here is the Keychron K7. I'm telling you, I think I'm going to really like this keyboard a lot. Yeah, can't wait to. I have a whole week of work coming up to continuing tomorrow, and a lot of coding needs to be done, and so I'm really going to get a lot of use of this keyboard. So I think I'm going to be able to do a very thorough review on it in just a few days, just to get a good feel. One of the things I have to get used to here is having the keys, the function keys, different on the same row here. So I'm going to have to be hitting this function key a lot. But those are the kind of things that you do eventually get used to. It was nice having that top row there for productivity's sake as well. So, yeah. And then I won't forget to turn on the light next time. I think it's a better backdrop than just having a dark plain backdrop there. And yeah, I'm going to start wrapping up. If there's anything else from anybody, now's your chance. But I was able to talk for over an hour here, and just like, I think I'm liking this live stream setup, and I eventually will probably delete these live streams after a couple of days. Actually, I don't want to keep the raw stuff, or I'll make it all, or else I'll make it private and then decide what to do with it later. But yeah, but longer content, not like 3 hours like John and Jeff do, but and it'll let me convert things into, how do I say it, into videos, and we'll see how they go from there. So anyway, I'm gonna stop here. Have a great night. I hope you are all doing well. Thanks for just, I'm really just trying to work this out, like what I'm gonna do here. And yeah, I know a lot of different YouTubers do this as far as the ones we follow. Kat does a lot of these kind of short formed ones. And so next time I really gonna I needed to really script it out better, especially with demos. But eventually I'll be able to get it where I'll keep the live, because it's just, how do we say it? It'll be very succinct and a full video there. Now, if you didn't join me in the beginning, the model I'm really following here right now is Lon.tv, Lon Seidman. He does a lot of tech reviews, and he goes live a lot, and he does all his B-roll stuff, or some of his demo stuff live, but he records it, and then eventually he comes back with a whole recorded video. So yeah, that's what he does, and then eventually he doesn't keep his live videos online. But he releases a lot of videos that way, because he's doing live sessions and recorded video all at the same time. So hope this will be more motivation for me to get videos out on a regular basis. And yeah, okay, it is 11:11, and I will see you all later. Expect at least one video, hopefully 2 videos this week, and I'll be back on my regular live streaming schedule Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, and I hope you all have a great night. All right, I'll see you all later.